I've heard tons of people talk about the Apple Watch, and one of the most common expressions I've heard about it is that it's useless, it's pointless, you don't need it. As an official owner of the Apple Watch, and I've used it now for 6 months, I believe, I've came to a couple conclusions that I want everyone to realize, mostly about what a smartwatch is and everything it's capable of doing. The biggest mistake I see people making is assuming this is trying to take the smartphone and move it to your wrist. No, this is not a phone, people. This does not work. A smartphone will always be a smartphone. What Android Wear is trying to do is make the watch independent from the phone, and the truth is, the phone is here to stay. No one's gonna replace it. First of all, it's wrapped around you like this, so you lose all capability of using two hands on one device, which is very crucial to do gaming, editing, any kind of cool stuff on your device. And Apple, as well as other tech companies, are assuming that you are taking your smartphone with you basically everywhere you go. You may not be on it 24/7, but it's gonna be near you at least. This is an extension and an amazing accessory, not a standalone product. A smartwatch leeches off the phone by delivering notifications to you in a more efficient manner. People ask me when it first came out, like, what's the point? And I'll admit, I thought it was useless. Everyone thought that. Absolutely no one saw this as a useful device. I bought it because I had this tech channel and I wanted to test it out. I didn't see what I would do with it, but I tried it. And I'm not gonna talk hate about it like you guys, even though you've never experienced it for half a year. The big change it makes is notifications. This is not a tinier version of the cell phone that you wear. This is to eliminate the process of reaching into your pocket and pulling out your phone. It doesn't take much effort to do, no, but we check for notifications all the time. The more our phones are capable of, the more notifications we get all the time, constantly. And depending on our preference, some notifications could be important, some couldn't be. Maybe there's some we want to know about, but we don't need to respond to. And the watch is able to make a difference between how we react. So oftentimes I'll get a text on the smartwatch and I'm not going to respond to it on here because I'm in a crowded room. I don't want to start talking to myself. That's awkward, but I at least know what the text is. I get the information, and if I need to respond, I can. That's very useful. And when you get texts all the time, this thing becomes extremely handy. And dictation works great on it. When you talk to that and you don't have to type out the entire message, things run so smoothly. I love this thing now. Set aside the activity tracker. Oh my gosh. If you are active, which I am, you get to record your exercises, track your calories, and make sure you're more of a healthy person. And how can you complain about a product trying to make you healthier? Just makes you look bad. Now about the price, I understand that it's expensive. Apple has never failed us on being expensive. $350, $400, that's a lot for an Apple Watch, for any watch. But for many middle-class people and of course the rich, that's not a whole lot. And as the iPhone becomes a more and more used tool throughout our lives, this makes using the iPhone easier. And for the people who can't afford it, how can you blame them? Plenty of people want an extension to their phone that adds so much convenience and adds so many more capabilities. $400, that doesn't set them back very much. $500, that doesn't send them back very much. $1,000, that's a lot for a watch, but they do it. Or $17,000. You may think that's crazy, but the thing is, Apple didn't invent the gold watch. We've had gold watches forever. That's not a new thing, but they know if people want it and they can afford it, they will pay for it. And Apple gets the money out of that. I don't see the problem. Now, the biggest one is you don't need an Apple Watch. Okay. People, when are we breaking down technology into necessities? So I don't need an Apple Watch, but I do need a smartphone. I don't need an Apple Watch, but I do need a tablet. I don't need an Apple Watch, but I do need a computer. What are you talking about? We need water, shelter, and love. And food. Mainly water and love above everything else. But guys, if you're buying tech, you're likely in a developed country and you're a first world citizen. Don't be talking about what we do and don't need. This is all about luxury. This is all about what makes life easier for us. Don't say we don't need it. We don't need anything but water, love, shelter, and food. I hope this was insightful for you. This is the Apple Sheep here, and see you in the next one.